Austin, Texas, the capital of the Lone Star State. Over the next 3 days, it will serve another role, the capital of the CrossFit world. 20 of the fittest men on earth will compete in 10 unique challenges. One of them is trying to make history. To do that, you will have to outduel some familiar foes. A hard-nosed gunslinger from down under, and a rough and tumble competitor from across the Atlantic. Who will ride off into the sunset with one of the most prestigious titles in the sport of fitness? Welcome to the 2022 Rogue Invitational. Everybody, and welcome to the opening day of competition at the 2022 Rogue Invitational. I'm Sean Woodland with three-time Affiliate Cup champion Adrian Conway. We are through 3 of the 10 events in the CrossFit competition. Event 4 is coming up next, but so far in these first 3 events, we have had 3 very different tests.
Very different tests. They've been amazing. They're thorough. Even though we're only 3 deep, we've seen them run, we've seen them carry weights, we've watched them do predominantly a body weight dependent test, and we've seen a lot of heavy loading in the form of a back squat at 405 pounds for these guys.
The men's field is absolutely loaded. Justin Medeiros comes in as the defending champion. He's trying to become the first man to repeat as Rogue Invitational champion, and he will have to hold off a host of talented athletes: Roman Krennikov, Ricky Garrard, and Pat Vellner, who is the 2020 Rogue Invitational champion. You can't get many more talented athletes in one place than you have here.
No, we're fortunate to see this type of lineup here at the Rogue Invitational this year. And we can't forget guys like Jason Hopper, who are coming out of the CrossFit Games season with a very strong showing, and he put himself on the map with Event 1 win. And I think that through the next couple days, 10 events strong, we are going to have an amazing show to watch.
Event number 4 is coming up next. Before we get to that, let's take a look back at what has happened so far. And we started with event number 1 one day ago. It took place off-site in Hill Country just outside of Austin, Texas. For the first time ever at the Rogue Invitational, the competition started with an off-site event. Event 1 was the Texas Trail, and the men and women would take on the event together but be scored separately. The athletes had to navigate more than 4 miles of running through hill country outside of Austin. They also dealt with some heavy sandbags at the halfway point. The first 1.2 miles of the run was completed while wearing a 30-pound ruck. Jason Hopper quickly moved to the front of the pack. Both Ricky Garrard and Roman Krennikov were close behind. Hopper widened his lead as he approached the 1.2-mile mark and was the first man to ditch his 30-pound ruck. Behind him, defending Rogue Invitational champion Justin Medeiros moved himself into 4th. Hopper was the first man to the 100-pound sandbags. He cleared all 3 before Ricky Garrard, the man in 2nd, even got to that point of the event. While Hopper continued to lead, Canada's Jeffrey Adler passed Ricky Garrard for 2nd place on the final 2-mile run. Adler managed to gain some ground on Hopper, but he ran out of time. Hopper hung on for the event win with a time of 31 minutes, 27.06 seconds. Adler finished in 2nd, 13 seconds later. Ricky Garrard took 3rd, followed by Roman Krennikov in 4th, and defending Rogue Invitational champion Justin Medeiros would finish 5th. Texas Trail was an exciting way to kick off the 2022 Rogue Invitational. Down on the field, Jonakowski has a slight lead over Heinrich Happelainen and Jorge Fernandez. As the athletes finish up, let's get you caught up with how this day started as the men first took the field here at Dell Diamond. Event 2 featured 3 familiar CrossFit movements and the first unexpected twist of the competition. Ski bar consisted of bar muscle-ups, calories on a ski erg, and glute ham developer sit-ups. But instead of using a regular pull-up bar for the bar muscle-ups, the athletes had to perform the movement on a wooden bar 4 inches in diameter. Pat Vellner, the 2020 Rogue Invitational champion, and Ricky Garrard were the first 2 men to finish their initial set of 20 bar muscle-ups. Vellner widened his lead after the 40-calorie ski as he advanced to the 80 glute ham developer sit-ups. Justin Medeiros was in 7th place in the heat when he got to the GHDs. He quickly changed that. Medeiros moved all the way into second on those 80 reps and was close behind Vellner heading into the final 40-calorie ski. Vellner carried the lead into the closing 20 reps of the bar muscle-ups, but a failed attempt opened the door for Medeiros. Now Medeiros threatening to overtake Pat Vellner. He has 5 to go. Medeiros looks like he has about a rep lead on Pat Vellner. 2 to go. Medeiros is done, and Justin Medeiros is going to win event 2. Medeiros' win propels him into first, but he is tied with Ricky Garrard in points. Chandler Smith sits 10 points back, and Jason Hopper drops from first to 10th after his poor finish. It's been an exciting start so far at the 2022 Rogue Invitational. Down on the floor, Jonakowski has increased his lead, but Cole Sager and Chandler Smith are trying to track him down. As the men get closer to the finish, stay tuned as we break down what happened in Event 3, Back Attack. The men in the final heat are next in DT with a spin. Stay with us at the 2022 Rogue Invitational.
This CBS Sports Spectacular, the 2022 Rogue Invitational on CBS Sports is sponsored by Rogue, Don't Weaken, and by Go Ruck, the Rucking Company. They build the world's toughest gear for rucking and training.
Competition continues here at the 2022 Rogue Invitational at Dell Diamond Stadium in Round Rock, Texas. I'm Sean Woodland with 3-time Affiliate Cup champion Adrian Conway. Event 4, DT with a spin, is wrapping up, but it's Jonakowski who picks up the heat win with a time of 8 minutes, 4.49 seconds. As Heat 1 continues to come to a close, let's get you caught up with what happened in Event 3. Event number 3 was aptly titled Back Attack. It consisted of just 2 movements, back squats and box jump overs. The back squats for the men were set at 405 pounds. The men in the final heat would have to beat Nick Matthews' Heat 1 time of 4 minutes, 9 seconds if they wanted to take home the event win. Jeffrey Adler, who was in a 7th place tie coming into the event with fellow Canadian Patrick Vellner, took an early lead. Justin Medeiros and Ricky Garrard were tied for the top spot overall coming into the event. Medeiros was on Adler's heels while Garrard looked to play damage control, and this is how it shook out. Jeffrey Adler is steadily in control here as we move into the end of the event.
Sean, there's beauty in that squat, an upright torso. He's driving through his heels. His knees drive back just at the right time.
Adler with 10 reps here on the box jump overs. Medeiros and Krenikov are closing out their sets. Here comes Medeiros. Justin Medeiros now in 2nd place in the heat. Nick Matthew looks like he's going to win this event. Final rep on the back squat for Adler. Now 5 reps remain. Nick Matthew is going to lock up the event win. Adler can still get 2nd here if he hurries. Adler is done. He will take the heat, and we will see where he winds up in relation to the rest of the field. As Justin Medeiros is now going to come to the box for the final time.
Justin doing what he does best, playing the field and executing to have a top finish or towards a top finish almost each and every event.
After 3 events, Justin Medeiros has 270 points. He is 35 points ahead of both Adler and Krenikov. Chandler Smith, he sits in 4th place, and it's Patrick Vellner with 225 points in 5th. Justin Medeiros will look to continue his momentum in the next event, but the men chasing him will have an opportunity to take him down in Event 4. DT with a spin is up next when we return to the 2022 Rogue Invitational. Welcome back to the 2022 Rogue Invitational here at Dell Diamond Stadium in Round Rock, Texas. I'm Sean Woodland alongside 3-time Affiliate Cup champion Adrian Conway. And day 1 is not done yet as the men in the final heat prepare to take on Event 4, DT with the spin.
15 calories on the Echo bike, 12 deadlifts, 9 hang power cleans, and 6 push jerks, 5 rounds for time.
Now that we have added the Echo bike in here, how does this change the way that you might approach this event?
You've got to do it with a conscious awareness that it's going to take a lot of energy and effort on that bike. You've got to be willing to lose early to win late. That means pacing is extremely important here. And then, of course, understand that the calories do count there. You can't just sit there and recover. The work that you accumulate and time that you spend on that bike matters. And then this workout tremendously favors big engines and strong bodies. So those are some of the key athletes to be eyeing in on once we watch this event begin.
Time to beat out of the first heat was set by Finland's Joona Koski. He held off veterans Cole Sager and Tim Paulson to set the mark at 8 minutes, 4.49 seconds as the men in the final heat take the field. Here are your lane assignments. Talked about Justin Medeiros, who now has a 35-point lead over both Jeffrey Adler and Roman Krennikov after just 3 events. Medeiros will be right in the middle of the field in lane number 6. He already has an event win, took event number 2, and then his other 2 finishes a 5th in the opening event and then a 3rd in back attack.
This workout is pretty pure CrossFit, Sean. This is where sometimes Medeiros can be his most dangerous.
We are set to get heat number 2 underway. The second and final heat is underway. And Jason Hopper, he's at the right of middle of your screen in the white top. He won the opening event, but he has been heading the wrong way since that victory. A 19th and a 13th, but he has a chance to turn that around here.
Yeah, I like Jason Hopper anytime there's a bike involved. I'm just going to be honest with you. A stationary bike, I like that man because he has got a high power output. And if you guys follow along with his history, you know that he's had some good outcomes, particularly with thrusters and Echo bike last year here at this Rogue Invitational. So I think he's an athlete to watch for this particular event.
Roman Krennikov done with his 15 calories and gets right to work on the barbell. He is in the middle of your screen in the blue shirt and black pants. 42 reps per round, 5 total rounds, and once again, Joona Koski's the man they're all trying to chase down at 8:04.49 seconds.
Now notice the difference between the way these guys are cycling these hang power cleans. Roman's got more of the hinge forward, Quant's slapping it off his thighs to use the rebound. One's faster, the way Quant's doing it, and one tends to keep your heart rate a little bit lower, the way Roman's doing it. It'll be interesting to see which one pays off for these athletes.
Roman Krennikov followed by Jason Hopper and Saxon Panchik, the first 3 men back to the bike. Justin Medeiros was not far behind. And now the entire field on to round number 2. Ricky Garrard, one of the last men to get onto the bike here. 15 more calories to start round 2.
And you know what I like here, Sean, and I got to give a shout out to Chris Spieler and Josh Bridges for their programming here, is it's a beautiful balance of time on the bike versus time on the bar. If you're really attacking that barbell well, it often mirrors about the same amount of time that you're spending on the bike, and I think that takes a lot of practice, a lot of time, and clearly a lot of experience with the programmers to understand what their intended outcome was.
Roman Krennikov now with just a couple calories left as he looks to maintain his lead. He will be first off the bike. And it's so great to finally see Roman Krennikov in live competition after everything that he went through the past 4 years just trying to get over to the CrossFit Games. Finally makes that happen here in 2022. Finishes on the podium in second place by just 27 points to Justin Medeiros. And he will be in North America for the foreseeable future. And looking forward to seeing him continue to compete at these in-person events.
Roman into round 2, looking like he's going completely unbroken with that barbell. It almost looks like it's attached to his body.
Pat Vellner and Sam Quant are fighting with Bjorven Gudmundsson for second place right now in the heat as Krennikov is through 2 of his 5 rounds. Justin Medeiros has moved into second along with Sam Quant. Here comes Patrick Vellner. Saxon Panchik at the top of your screen. Panchik in the dark shirt, and Jeffrey Adler just put the barbell down, and he and Jason Hopper moving back together to the bike on the right side of your screen.
I'm going to keep my eye out on that Pat Vellner guy. I slipped up and didn't do that a time or two earlier today already, and he kind of snuck in. So I'm gonna keep my eye out on Pat Vellner in the corner of my eye.
And Vellner is creeping up on Roman Krennikov, but can he do enough to win the event? The conclusion of DT with a spin when we return to the 2022 Rogue Invitational after a short break.
This CBS Sports Spectacular, the 2022 Rogue Invitational on CBS Sports is sponsored by BTWB. Fitness is a journey. And by Rogue. Don't weaken.
Event 4, DT with a spin, is underway here at the 2022 Rogue Invitational at Dell Diamond Stadium in Round Rock, Texas. I'm Sean Woodland with three-time Affiliate Cup champion Adrian Conway. We are now in round 4 of 5, and it's Patrick Vellner, the 2020 Rogue Invitational champion, who leads the men here in the second of 2 heats.
He looks good. He looks like he's full of energy here to compete, and I remember watching him in 2016, Sean, win double DT. So he likes this barbell.
Patrick Vellner got to the barbell just ahead of Roman Krennikov, but Krennikov is continuing to work, and now he and Vellner just about even here for the lead as Krennikov continues to go unbroken on the barbell. So he has regained the lead from Vellner, but Vellner doing some good work there on the Echo bike to move ahead of Sam Quant in the race for second. And Justin Medeiros is lurking back there as well. Final 6 reps in this round for Roman Krennikov. And he moves into his 5th and final round, trying to chase down Yonakoski's time of 8:04.49 seconds. Sam Quant now in 2nd, Medeiros in 3rd. Gudmundsson, Vellner now even for 4th. And now here comes Jason Hopper.
Yeah, and this is where we get to see a bit of a final kick. Roman had about a 4-second lead on Quant getting to the bikes. Cadence is pretty similar between the two. Roman may have an edge up on RPMs there as he seems to be cycling his bike just a touch faster.
Final 5 calories for Roman Krennikov, who briefly surrendered the lead to Vellner in round 4, but now he is back in front. Vellner looks like he is in 3rd place as Quant is just about done. Here comes Roman Krennikov with less than a minute to complete this final round of DT and pick up an event win. And depending on what Justin Medeiros does, he could really close that gap. He needs some help here, though, in this heat, as Medeiros is now off the bike for the final time. Quant and Vellner on the barbell in their 5th and final rounds as well.
Boy, if Roman can hold on here and go unbroken, what an excellently paced event for him.
Final couple reps now. 5 remain for Roman Krennikov. His first career appearance in person at the Rogue Invitational and his first event win here. Roman Krennikov, 100 points as he takes DT with a spin. And now Sam Quant right behind him. Now keep in mind, Yonakoski's time could factor in here and help out Roman Krennikov, as now Justin Medeiros is across the finish line, along with Bjorgvin Gudmundsson, Jason Hopper, Vellner, and Gerard also across. Here comes Adler, now Lazar Jukic. So Saxon Panchik will be the last man to finish here. Final rep for Panchik. And with that, day 1 of competition wraps up here at the Rogue Invitational, and it's Roman Krennikov who picks up 100 points and his first event win of the competition.
And it's all Roman for this one. We know that when you play with having a buffer on the rest of the field in a particular area, you get to hold on to your reserves, which means that you get to conserve a little bit of energy. And he did that on the bike. He went just fast enough to go unbroken each round on this complex, and that allowed him to really dictate his whole entire event. And of course it ended with a shirtless Roman and a happy victor.
And a shirt toss into the crowd. Roman Krennikov enjoying his time competing in person here, and he picks up 100 points with a time of 7:49.76 seconds. Sam Quant with 95 points in 2nd place. Yonakoski's top time from heat number 1 is good enough for 3rd. And then Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson helping out Krennikov as well as he gets in ahead of Justin Medeiros, who takes 5th place in the event, but another top 5 finish for your defending Rogue Invitational champion. Let's send it down to Kiki Dixon with Roman Krennikov.
How much of a game changer was the Echo bike?
Этот воркаут очень хорош для меня, потому что я люблю комбинацию штанги с кардиотренажером. Я выкладывался на штанге, и, как я сказал своему тренеру, я буду восстанавливаться с тем темпом, на котором они будут работать.
He loves this combination of cardio equipment with the barbell. It's his favorite. So he told his coach this. On a DT, he'll go unbroken and fast. And on the bike, he's going to go in his recovery pace, which is most of the athletes' working pace. So,
Congratulations, 100 points is coming your way.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
After 4 events, it's Roman Krennikov who sits in 2nd place all by himself. He carves 20 points off Justin Medeiros' lead. Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson, he moves into 3rd place. Pat Vellner creeping up the leaderboard. He now sits in 4th place with 295 points. And fellow Canadian Jeffrey Adler drops down to 5th from 2nd. 2 days of competition and 6 events remain here, so nobody should be getting comfortable. Plenty still needs to be decided at the 2022 Rogue Invitational. The defending champ is charging. Justin Medeiros sits atop the overall standings after 4 events, but a familiar adversary is keeping things close. Roman Krennikov leads a posse of talented veterans looking to wrangle the overall leader. An uphill battle, a pressure-packed sprint, and a unique test of strength await. Whose star will shine in the Lone Star State? The Texas-sized showdown rolls on next time at the 2022 Rogue Invitational. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.